Welcome back to Cold Hard Feelings, everybody. And I made a mistake. I looked back at the recording that I had for episode 7, and I realized I didn't like it at all. So I'm going to redo it, and that's that. Episode 7 was supposed to be about dreams, goals, and aspirations. I think actually with a lot of things that have gone on in my recent life, I think I need to talk about a little different points of that. One, and it also sounded like I was kind of drunk, and I don't even drink. So really the thing about dreams and goals and aspirations, which I'm going to just whittle down to dreams. Maybe let's do goals, because what I did mention was back in episode 3, it was all just a dream. It was a dream that I had, and it was so lucid that I woke up and had to talk about it. So that's what brought about the topic, because dreams and goals and aspirations, which I'm now taking down to just goals, are very important. Goalposts are like hurdles. They never, ever really stop. You get one, you accomplish one, and it's on to the next one. Unless the goal is dying, which, it shouldn't be, right? Ever, because why? One, but two, us as human beings are just naturally curious. So you can't learn anything new after dying. So that should never be the goal. And it's not something to laugh about, but in reality, if you are a naturally curious person, which I tend to find myself being, it's very hard to set one goal and obtain it and stop there. So I think for me, at least, it starts all the way back to the Sonic 2 for the Game Gear, actually. The Genesis version was actually really, sorry, I'm going to nerd out on you. The Genesis version was actually very simple, even for me when I was like 3 years old. And as I got older, I played all the Sonic games. I will eventually get to a point where I will nerd out even further. It might not be on this podcast, but I will eventually share, talk about my love for Sonic and all of that, the franchise. And as I got older, I was in high school, and when you're in high school, you think you are the absolute epitome of a human being. You have never done anything wrong. You can't do anything wrong, and you're perfect. But here's the thing. I also thought this when I was in high school, and then I met Sonic 2 for the Game Gear. It's a handheld system that came out around the time of a Genesis, and it was awesome. And I played Sonic 2 because I'm like, man, I beat this game already when I was a kid. What? So I found out what. I turned the game on, and I couldn't get past the first stage. I couldn't get past the first boss. And that lasted for about 3 years. So my goal ended up being, I am going to beat this game. I'm not going to just beat the first stage. I'm going to beat this game. I don't care how long it takes. Needless to say, here I am many moons later, and I have beaten it. But that's not the only goal I've ever had, and I definitely am not going to sit here and tell you that that was the last goal I ever made. So the whole point of that rant is the fact that you can meet a goalpost, but you haven't reached your destination. If you set something for yourself and say, you know what, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be in life. This is where I want to go. Do it. Once you get back, you're going to say, that was awesome. What's next? If you don't, you need to, because that's what keeps life interesting. And nobody likes to not have an interesting life. And when I say not have an interesting life, I don't mean going and buying new fancy cars that you can barely afford, or getting into a big fancy house that you can barely afford. I don't mean, getting with the most attractive person. No, there's nothing wrong with that, but getting with the most attractive person that you know and barely being able to afford it. Or, just having things that are attainable that make sense. Those are goals. Dreams, I mean, I would love to be a millionaire. Doesn't mean that I should or that I will, right? I would love to be the fittest person on the planet. But will I ever be? Maybe for like a split second, but no, probably not, because there's always going to be someone fitter, right? There's always going to be someone richer. But if I practice every day to do a headstand and I do a headstand or a handstand and I practice every single day to do it and I eventually do it, guess what? I made that goal. I completed it. Anybody else on the planet can do a handstand, but they can't be you doing a handstand. And that's the difference. Do something that you can do and let it be you that does it, obviously. So dreams, they're awesome. I love to have them. I love to think about them. I love to create them, but they're not always realistic. And that is just, real. That's just, real life. Goals, on the other hand, are things that you can work towards. If you want to say your dream is to be the best Super Smash Bros. Player, and I'm going to do games today. So you want to be the best Super Smash Bros. Player. Awesome. Have that dream, hold on to it and work towards it. Let that be your dream and let that be your goal. The goal is something to work towards. Really, in reality, the goal is to become a better Smash Bros. Player. Not the best. That's the dream. To become a better Smash Bros. Player, that's the goal. Work towards it. Practice hard. Train hard. Bleed. Sweat. Cry. Cry some more. Bleed a little bit more, but keep crying, usually. But then train. And then keep training. And then keep training. And then keep training. Because little do you know, every second that you spend practicing, you're already better than you were before you started. And that's just a fact of life. You can go to the gym. I don't care if you pick up dust off the floor. You are that much stronger than when you walked in. You go in and you see, you'll see a lot of like fit or like ripped people like lifting like 10 pounds, 10 pound dumbbells. Okay. But I mean, they're so strong. Why are they lifting 10 pounds? Guess what? Because in order to get there, that's how they started. Your body has to remember that type of stuff. It has to be brought with that type of stuff. Yeah, they could probably do a few reps at like 80 pounds or something like that. But your body has to utilize a constant lift. So 10 pounds, 15 pounds, the lightweight. Oh, no, I'm showing myself without. But 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds. Do your reps, and let it be easy, but you're still stronger than you were prior to going in there. If you want to learn a new language, okay, learn one word. Guess what? Now you've learned a word more than you knew the day before, right? So that's how you reach goals. Goals take time, they take patience, and they take perseverance. You have to stay at them. How many times have you wanted to get into a relationship with somebody or you wanted to ask someone out and you sat there and said, you know what? I don't know how I'm going to do it. But then eventually over time you do, or you don't. But then you say you do, what did it take to work up that courage? I mean, sometimes it's just a spur of the moment thing where you just slap yourself in the face and just go. Or, you work your way towards it. You say, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to say, blah, blah, blah. And then that stuff typically just doesn't happen. But you do end up getting to the end goal of asking them out. It doesn't matter what they say. Yes, no, who cares? I'll do a relationship episode at some point. I don't want that to be, anyways. And just let that be it, set the goal. Set something attainable, work towards it. And honestly, set something unrealistic. Say you want to be, president of the United States, hence, recent elections and all that stuff. I'm not political, so I'm not talking about that. But, say you want to be president of the United States. Okay, great. Are you going to be president of the United States? Who knows, actually. But you aren't going to wake up tomorrow and be president, right? So how do you get there? I don't know. You have to figure that stuff out. I would never want to be president. So, yeah, you just have to work at it. Work towards it. Figure stuff out. I mean, look up how to do it. Dream big, Say you want to own the planet. Probably not a good thing, but say you want everything. You know what? That's me. I want everything. Realistically, I'm not going to have everything. I might have everything I ever wanted, but I won't have everything. And I want to learn every single thing that there is to learn. I want all the knowledge. I want all the knowledge. I'm not going to get all the knowledge, but that's the whole point to learning, is to keep learning. Because if I had all the knowledge, it would be boring. But to continue learning, gaining knowledge, man, you can't beat that. You can't. And don't try it. Don't tell me you can either. And, I wouldn't want to, because that would be boring. I don't like being bored. I don't like being bored. A lot of people compare me to Sonic the Hedgehog, because I guess maybe because I'm free spirited. I don't know. I've never been in a cage. I don't know, but I just don't like being bored. I can't stand around. I can't wait for things to be, the way that I want them to be perfectly. I have to go out and get them. I have to go out and get it. I'm a very patient person, but that's mentally. That's mentally. I have goals, I have dreams, and I like to work towards them every day, even when I don't feel like doing it, because, you can't get anywhere by standing still. So, if you have a dream huge, dream big. Let it be as unrealistic as traveling outside the galaxy or something, But then make goals that get there. Who cares if you don't make it outside the galaxy? The main thing is that you try. And honestly, the best goal in life is literally just to try.